Yeah,
They
and
look
then
different, right?
I must have looked at it, I didn't look at it.
I know he said he was on the bottom of the tub. And now it's out back.
She said, no, it isn't over 10 pounds for 3 days.
You don't weigh as much now.
Alright, I'll try.
Well, this was.
You had phone silence this time, Joe? I got the phone in here somewhere. You gotta silence it.
And I could see it, it's like, huh?
Carry the room in those days.
The clock has chimed 6, so we'll go ahead and get started. Are you ready? I know, right, are we? I know, right? All right, well, it's 6, so we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Gaston?
Yes.
Jean?
Here.
Grant?
Here.
Ron?
Here.
Edmund?
Thank you. Please observe with me a moment of silence. Thank you. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. A copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the entryway of the Crawford Public Library. It is also available in pamphlet form, or you can follow the link available here in the agenda to find an online copy. Okay, consent agenda number 5. A, approval of the February 24th, 2026 regular meeting minutes. B, approve Dennis and Edward attending the water operator training on March 17th, 2026 in Chadron for $75 per person. C, approve planning commission, approve building permits for the following. The first is Travis and Lacey Johnson at 145 Annan Street, that's a privacy fence. And the second is Brian Miller, PT Outlet E, addition 7, add 7 foot onto current building project and put in a 12 by 16 carport. Do I have a motion for consent agenda?
Those were approved, Raylene? Those were both approved?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Dean with the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Fromm, roll call.
Dean?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
Thank you. Reports, water and sewer, please.
So Country Electric was out last week and helped us get, I think it was 2 weeks ago, helped us get in the compressor sewer plant. So that's up and running. That's a really great addition there. We got the old compressor. We're gonna strip all the way up the parts as best we can. It's a like-for-like compressor. We did get the Allen tank installed at the water plant. It's up and running right now. It's really good. A way better use of the system than what we previously had. We've got a way better tank. We've been able to clean up the area a lot better. We've started stripping a lot of the old airline off of the tanks. A lot of metal fixtures were on steel was on the aluminum tanks. We've been able to tear most of that off. We're getting plastic airlines run in there so that it's all plastic on the tanks. We're not having dissimilar metals that further cause corrosion issues. We're trying to slow that corrosion down as fast as we can. And that's about it that we have. We're looking forward to the train coming out in Chadron, and we're going to try and piggyback off that, looking a little closer at the sewer plant at Chadron, how they do their bulk wastewater dumping down there as well, just to see if we want solution's gonna be out hopefully in a month or two to finish up, or to proceed with automation of the sewer plant, or the water plant, sorry. Yeah, I think that's it, I think, for the report.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you, Dennis. Park and Cemetery. Unless it's Jenny.
My head.
There you go.
Kevin, you can always add stuff.
I appreciate that.
Because I'm kind of hitting the top points. We were, very happy to see that the advertising for park employees is out, and so we, were just looking at our schedules to kind of see if we can find some times to be able to, interview those folks. So kind of getting my board ready to, look forward to that. We approved 2 things. One is the placement of the flagpole by the ball diamonds, and that is actually on your agenda to approve. So that one we'll talk about a little bit later. But also, I think we're waiting a little bit on the flag drop box at the Legion. There's maybe just a little bit more specificity coming, like exactly where it's gonna go, and, but the idea, it's good, sure, not a problem. So, we did have a report of ants in the community building, which we are checking up on. I haven't been able to get there yet with, Kevin, but we'll do that, look at it again and just see if there's, can we just brace ourselves out, whatever, just little fixes, I think.
Where were they recorded?
Coming in the front door and also on the east door on the, north side, towards the bathrooms. So we'll take a look, and then they were teeny weeny, yes. Okay. So anyway, we will be looking at that to see what may need to be done. The other thing that kind of came up, somebody said, gotta have one of those, fish feeder gumball machines for the park pond, and, what happened to the one at the fort out at Carter P? And so I went over to ask, and they're, we don't know, but we'll check, and so I'm gonna have to follow up, but that would be kind of fun. Just a little, something different, but then we talked about cleaning that out a little bit, but I don't know if that'll go anywhere. Other than that, Kevin, did you have anything that you want to add?
No, man.
All right. Any questions?
Thank you. Library.
Brian, when it's done, it'll just be on the printer. Good evening, everybody. So where January was kind of a slow month for the library, we bounced right back in February, even though it was a short month. We had 417 visits and patronages versus the 262 of January. We had 30 computer users. We circulated 240 physical materials, of which there were 61 DVDs that circulated. We circulated 133 digital materials and 12 audiovisual materials for Canopy. There were 34 books cataloged, 64 were weeded to make space for those, and we were open a total of 18 days in February. Upcoming events, the first most one is going to be next week on the 17th, will be our first movie night at the Fire Hall. It'll be at 5 p.m. Then the library will be closed on March 19th for the training to implement our new integrated library management system. So that's an exciting day, even though the doors will be locked. On the 4th Friday, March 27th at 1:30 will be our next crochet knitting club, and that was a screaming success. The first one, there were probably about 14 people, 6 children, and it started at 1:30 and the last of them left at 5:30. So they were just very invested in the club.
When did you say the next one was?
That will be March 27th at 1:30. It was the 4th Friday, so I was trying to be alliterative there. And then our reading group will be April 3rd, and then the next meeting will be April 6th. So I just have a few short things to share with you guys tonight as far as discussion points. So the public library survey, the big, it's like a 60-page report. It's due April 1st, and it was completed and submitted as of February 20th. So It was a lot easier, it gets easier every year as my record keeping continues to improve. As for the air conditioning replacement or repair, I have requested quotes from the local heating and cooling vendors such as Fire and Ice Mechanical and MPC Heating and Cooling. So I've placed those requests and waiting to hear back from them. Elsewhere, I've had discussions with our friends group, and they have expressed willingness to at least partially, if not fully, fund the whole AC replacement, depending on what the quotes come back with. And then the last thing I wanted to share is that, as you may have heard in the paper, the Crawford Public Library was one of the libraries in Nebraska that was awarded a $500 grant from the Nebraska Library Commission for an internship. And we would have that intern over the course of the summer reading program. So for June and July. Just to give you a sense of what that would look like, specifically applicants would be a high school or college student. And then the internship would last the duration of all of June and July. So a perfect 8 weeks is how it shakes out. They'd probably be working between 4 to 6 hours a week, depending on how the scheduling works out. And they'd receive a one-time stipend of that $500, which they're gonna send directly to us early so that we can give it back to them in kind of that one lump sum. So the stipend is simpler for tax purposes. But the purpose of the internship is that they'd be learning the ins and outs of librarianship from a first-hand perspective. So it'll be much appreciated help over our busiest season, and hopefully it'll inspire young persons to consider the possibilities of librarianship or related fields.
How do you propose to advertise for that? Where are you going to advertise at?
My and the board's intentions are to focus specifically on high school student aged kids in town, so like homeschool and the public school, and then target specifically Shadow State. So I think you can reach out to both those institutions and advertise through them, and I don't think they charge.
That's awesome.
So, unless there's any questions for me, that's my report for tonight.
Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll proceed to ordinances and resolutions. Number 6, discuss, approve, disapprove the adoption of resolution 2026-05, ratifying and formally adopting a health insurance opt-out policy for eligible full-time employees, retroactive to January 9th, 2024. We had this issue come up obviously in January 9th, 2024 meeting, and we had passed it at that time, but it was not passed with this, through this procedure, so we were just catching that part up. Yes, at the request of the insurance carrier. Do I need to read just from that top? Okay. I would take a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Roll call. Ron?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Thank you. Unfinished business of the preceding meeting. Number 7, discuss, approve, disapprove advertising for bids to hay the fields by the Bloom Building and the golf course.
I can't find it now, but I have a concern. All it said was, to target the weeds. And I would specifically put that in there, Canadian physical. It's got to be taken care of in there. I didn't find it. Where is it?
It's about halfway. The original memorandum doesn't
Memorandum of
include the
agreement.
spray, no, does it?
No.
So we need to
Yes,
add
so
that.
I need to amend that and make sure that that is in, the city should buy the applicant, I guess, chemicals, but we need to get on top of that, it's getting a mess.
So basically weeds.
Well, it is basically a weed, but it's not getting.
We put in, take care of the weeds, spray for weeds.
We've tried, even this one, there is a problem, is weed control is not gonna cover it, we've gotta get a specialized chemical to get Canadian thistle killed off, because weed, everything we've been putting on it isn't getting it. So we need to
And
target.
it's had the attention that it was really originally intended to have either, so that's probably part of that issue.
Right, so
Do you want
It was
to,
out to,
Yes.
do you want to, reach out to our local sprayers and ask them for
or no,
bids to
For
do that,
bids to
since
do
Kevin
that.
really doesn't have the equipment. He's got the license, but not the equipment to do it. And still advertise
As
for,
is.
for this as is.
all it really takes is a applicant, or just an applicator, I mean, they're a single weed, you're not, just be matter of walking through it, but,
Just a 2,4-D would kill it.
huh?
Just a 2,4-D.
2,4-D would kill it, but they haven't even put that on it, so I'm not sure what they're putting on it, but nothing was,
I don't see anybody's used any chemical over there in the past 3 years that I know of. They got mullein growing over there and thistles and.
Well, we did hire, Tom Ramp 1 year.
I think that was.
and maybe that's the course we need to go, but I just think that it would,
Well, since we're putting this out to bid, I can put.
I have an aerial guy.
Oh, we could.
How many, 2 acres?
We're not doing the memo yet.
So you would think that the city should take care of that themselves then, instead of putting it on the bid on there?
We don't have the equipment to spray it.
You can do it either way.
No, but we could-
We could do it as an independent request.
We could do, we could farm it out, yeah, or for a bid for it.
Cause I know that like
You
the
can
whole
bid
golf
it.
course, that's nothing but sanders, like the whole
I
field
know,
is
it's,
nothing but
it's
sanders,
just
so.
ridiculous, you know, that and goat heads and everything else is.
So, mainly, are these the areas that you want to notice, the old golf course, city golf course, area between golf course and park along White River? And it should also be the balloon building.
Balloon
I thought
building
it
is what
said it
really needs
It
to,
does in the.
the rodeo
I'm
grounds.
just looking
Oh,
at
and
the,
then
I'm just
notice,
looking at the
sure.
notice.
The
I say in
rodeo-
the memorandum, it has it
Yeah,
as
it
Shall
got,
include the balloon building.
blue
Yeah.
building area, the rodeo grounds, the
The
area
rodeo
between the golf
grounds, the
course and the
balloon
park
building.
along the White River,
And
is
yeah,
what the memorandum has.
and, I mean, the goat heads are just thick in there, so.
well, we'll come up with this, maybe email it out to you.
So then,
Just need a motion to move forward with the notice.
just take the weed control out of here this year, you can put it out.
That weeds are,
Because I mean,
it's not an unusual request. The problem is, it never gets done.
right, that's what I'm saying, yeah. So above and beyond this, we need to make,
Because they just hay it, and they cut the weed that way.
yeah, we just need to make a not a resolution, an amendment then, or, I mean, what do I need to do?
Right now, we're just doing notice to bid,
Okay,
and then we'll update this, send it out to everybody, so it's, so
Okay.
what you wanted to say.
yes,
So we need to add to the next agenda to, bid
to
for
bid it for chemicals,
chemical, for
weed
weed
control,
control, yeah.
make that motion.
As a separate thing from.
Yes, above and beyond. But we'll leave this as is, and then we can go above and beyond and fix the weeds ourselves.
Yeah, but we'll treat this notice, so
Okay,
it's today.
so I make the motion that we approve after amending, the weed control. And then also
So just need notice to bidders for the hay.
notice to bidders for the hay, yeah, okay.
I'll second.
Thank you, roll call.
From
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Justin. Yes.
Okay, under new business, 8, discuss, approve, disapprove, revised escort route for the traveling wall. To be presented by Mr. Roger Campbell.
Good evening. The reason I asked to be here tonight is that we had previously presented a escort route through Crawford. And after that was sort of publicized, we've had several requests to change it. And so that's why I'm here this evening. The escort route will begin at the Whitney Exchange out there, the spur that goes off. And we're gonna line up all the motorcycles, the highway patrol, and the wall truck and trailer on the west side. Then we're gonna come on 20 and we're gonna head to Crawford. When we get to the Crow Memorial out there, we'll pick up cars and trucks. We didn't want to put any motorcycles in that gravel, but that's where all the vehicles will come from. They'll fall in behind us, and then we're gonna come in and instead of going down Main Street, which we previously asked for, we wanna go all the way around on 20 West, like we're gonna go to the fort, but we're gonna go to Second Street. And then at Second, we're gonna turn north and go down through business section and that residential section until we get to Main at the post office. And then we'll turn left there and head west to First. And then we'll come up First past Ponderosa Villa so that they can see that. We have several veterans living there. And then we'll proceed south toward 20. At Reed Street and the community building, the motorcycles will drop off and go into that hard lot. The state patrol and the truck will go on around to 20, and we're gonna go west of the fire hall. There's a blacktop pad that you can pull in off the highway there. We're gonna come in there, we'll go across the Bloom field, or the Bloom building field that you just talked about, down to the gravel road. At the gravel road, we'll turn and we'll go toward the ball field, and we swing and we'll go into the ball diamond, or into the ball field through that gate. And then we'll unload the truck and trailer there. So that's the change. And, it's not a big change, but it is a change. We just wanna make sure that everybody's okay with that.
That would be a really nice route and a kind of a small parade as it comes through town, so that sounds wonderful. As far as once you get to the balloon building, it'll only be the actual truck containing the wall that goes from the balloon building
Well,
into the ball field?
the state trooper who leads the whole thing will
Okay.
pull in, but he'll probably, I doubt if they'll go on down to the wall. It'll be the truck and the trailer. We've already run an experimental run with a similar sized truck and trailer to make sure that we can get in there and do it, and it works out. That's the only way you can get in. You can't come in from, First Street and Main, because you just can't swing wide enough, so.
Do we have concern about any of the sprinklers in that area as they come in on the field?
They're gonna be marked. I have more concerns about the balloon building, and that's something that we're gonna discuss tomorrow night at the ball meeting.
Yeah.
That feels very, very rough, and we can build a road coming in from the road to the trail.
In between the two buildings?
In
Is that
between
what
the
you're-
hayfield and the balloon building there.
Use that south gate.
And using the south field, come into the path there, and then pull into the field there. So we'll have all the sprinkler heads marked heavily, so that they know where they're at and everything. And then of course pull the flags and make sure that, make it as pristine, as nice as we can, but yeah, protecting our assets that we have over there and everything is huge.
That would be nice not to have to take a trailer all the way around those trees and then back through and
Right.
all the way around that makes sense.
We've been doing some improvements back there, and it's gonna be nice.
Appreciate that.
And maybe that's for another time.
Any question?
It's kind of, do you have any idea who's gonna have as an honor to lead this? I mean, you've got a, who gets the honor of leading this? You said state patrol is a
Yeah,
veteran? Do you have
they
somebody?
give us a specific lineup that we have to have. And the lineup is headed with the Nebraska State Patrol. Then behind that, we have motorcycles representing each one of the branches of the military with their flags.
Right,
That's behind the state patrol. Then behind that is the truck and the trailer hauling the wall. Then behind that will be other motorcycles.
my question, I guess, is it a veteran that is gonna be the patrol officer that's leading you? Is that what Do they have anybody in particular in mind as the honoree? It would be kinda cool if we do a write-up maybe on somebody, no?
No,
Just a state patrol officer?
yeah.
Okay, that's,
I mean,
it's complete sympathy.
nothing that says that we can't have, I mean,
I was just
somebody
curious.
who could honor.
I was just
that'd be
curious,
nice.
yeah.
We met with the, Nebraska Department of Roads last Monday. And we had the state highway patrol there, the superintendent of the highways, the maintenance superintendent. And, behind us is gonna be another state highway patrolman that will keep people from coming up on us from behind.
Right.
And, we're allowed to go 30 miles per hour, so we think we're gonna leave at 10 o'clock from the Whitney Spur. And so be in Crawford probably somewhere around 10:45, 10:50 or something like that to come through town. It's interesting because that's gonna be homecoming weekend. So there's gonna be a lot of activity going on and, it's gonna be sort of neat.
Brian, I really, that's such a great idea, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the opportunity to be so bold to suggest that, I believe you should ride with the state patrol.
That would be awesome.
We're very grateful for what you've done for our community.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, that would be,
But we think we're gonna have, we've asked for people to hold flags on Second Street as we come down through, so we have those large burial flags that we put out on Memorial Day, so.
Yeah.
That'll look pretty neat.
Well, and then too, we thank you for your service, you're a veteran yourself, and without you, we wouldn't have the opportunity to host such an event, and you've been very diligent about, all the hard work it's taken to put this all together, so I would be so bold to make that request as mayor, that you ride with the state patrol and be the official escort.
I would second that, 100%.
That'd be cool.
Maybe we could
He
reach
will
out.
be retiring shortly after that, the gentleman that's gonna be that lead driver.
So they do have somebody designated for the position.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I agree with the mayor that it'd be nice if you would get to ride with them. We'd have to talk to the patrol, but I would think that would be so cool.
Hey, Roger, have you ever ridden in one of them patrol cars before?
I have.
On the right end of it?
Was the head of the Ohio State Highway Patrol. So, back in the early days, we were able to catch rides with Ohio State Patrolmen to go like on just, they allowed pedestrians to go with them. So.
Thank you so much, Roger. We appreciate all the hard work you've done. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the new route.
Thank you, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, roll call. Dean?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Number 9, discuss, approve, disapprove the park board approved installation of flagpole donated by Crawford Serving Humanities at the ball fields.
Is there anything you wanted to know about that? Roger's kind of a go-to guy, but you said it's gonna be 40 feet tall. Wally Hewlin has donated a flag, a eagle to the top of the pole. So that was cool. He put on a cement, what you said, 8 to 10 feet deep.
Yeah.
Uh,
That'll be, concrete, reinforced concrete.
Probably only 3.5 to 4 feet in diameter, so.
And you said it's by an approved location by the community builder, or where would be the more specific?
So it's just off the corner of the snack shack or whatever, concession stand.
Okay.
And there's actually a light there, the current doesn't work, but I think Skip and Jared are working on
So
that.
kind of in that,
So nobody has
a beautiful location.
Exactly, and I think used for both the wall, but I think every time you have ball field
We
use.
can certainly do that, that'd be kind of neat to
It would,
incorporate.
it would.
The exact position may change because we're doing the call before you dig.
Mhm.
There are a lot of water lines, sewer lines, and electric lines down there, so it may have to move 3 or 4 feet, but, we called them, I'm not sure when they'll be here, but they're
Sure.
gonna call.
We appreciate that consideration.
And, Jared Allen has suggested a light, that we can put on there. There'll be a dusk to dawn light, so that the flag can be, lighted, properly, so.
Wonderful.
The pole is 40 feet. And, we think we have a 8x12 flag that's being donated that we can put on there. Be pretty neat.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Dean. Do I have a second? Thank you, Gaston. Roll call.
Dean,
Yes.
Gaston, Brown.
It's approved. Thank you again for the assistance with that. and donations. Number 10, discuss approve, disapprove hiring golf board recommended seasonal golf employees with start date March 15th, 2026 and ending date October 15th, 2026. The recommendations are as follows: clubhouse, Missy Suker, clubhouse manager at $20 per hour. Part-time clubhouse help at $15 per hour for the following: Amanda Cotton, Isabel Bachjol, Gina Lemon, and Kaylee Klein. Outside course help would be Fred Cruz as head greenskeeper at $20 per hour, Faye Hughes at $17 per hour, and Jerry Pierce at $15 per hour.
I'll make that motion that we approve as read.
I'll second the motion.
Ron?
Yes.
Gaston. Yes. Dean.
Yeah.
Discuss, approve, disapprove continuation of advertising for seasonal clubhouse positions.
I'm not sure that this is necessary because I believe we're advertising until filled, right?
Yes.
I agree with you.
So just keep advertising.
Yeah.
Cause what I told them at the golf board meeting was even if people only wanna work, tournaments, let's get them hired now. So they need to apply now because we have to advertise for 3 weeks. So when it's 2 weeks before the tournament and we don't have the people, we don't have the time to advertise and get them hired. So if you want, if you want to, just work tournaments, or if you wanna work in the clubhouse or whatever, apply now. That's all I got.
So no action. Number 12, discuss, approve, disapprove.
Yeah, I need to get over there and get my stuff here. I'm not very organized. She's printing me out some stuff here. So we've got a committee that's been working putting an LED sign in Crawford. And what we have found is, we found one, and it's a 7-year contract at a set price with a $19,000 first installation, and then it's $483 a month. Electricity is gonna run us about $29 a month. And a lot of this we can recoup from, advertising, the cost, putting it on the board. You can charge so much for every advertisement. What we're looking at is a grant to fund the whole thing for 5 years. She was gonna send a proposal to us that includes the monthly fee and everything is 1 cent fee. And it comes up to $42,700 for 7 years. So anyway, what I'm looking for from the city, or we are looking from the city, I should add Jacob here, was to approve a spot. We have to have this grant submitted by no later than March 20th. Our mayor has talked to the post office. I stopped down there the other day. He
Spoke to him again this morning.
did you this morning? It didn't sound real good when I talked to him.
He said he thought he could for sure make the sign happen. He said he wouldn't be able to
By then?
release the land. I couldn't get a for sure date, but he
That's my
didn't feel
worry.
like it would be a problem to have the sign there.
Okay, I'm fine with that, we can put the sign there. I have gotta have a place designated to place the sign for us to submit this grant, to have this done for this summer. And I've got
Could you
till March
submit it
31st.
as, that as the location, waiting for official approval with the library as your backup?
With an alternate.
Yeah, as just an alternate, so that way you just,
Yeah.
if it falls through, you still have the application still proves what you would have in place,
Okay, with
that way
the-
you're covered.
is the
So-
city okay with us putting it in front of the library? The other thing
As a
is the
backup,
easement
yeah.
as a backup.
So, what was that, 4 years ago, Raylene?
The what?
When the library wanted to put their sign out in the
Street right away.
street right away, and we didn't allow
Yeah.
that back then because
Well,
there's,
planning commission can't approve it on city property. It had to go either on the
And where he has.
backside of the sidewalk, or it was a city council problem.
I remember discussing it in
At
planning
length.
commission at length. In fact, that might have been right after you got elected. And, there was some ordinance that did not allow,
And that front easement
right,
From the sidewalk
to the street.
to the street is city property, so the city would have to approve that. We couldn't approve it as a planning commission. I know it's city-owned property, but it's different
Yeah,
types of property.
okay,
I
but
don't
it is,
It's back of the sidewalk,
Yeah, and we proposed it both ways, cause we don't know what
avenue.
and yeah, right,
Sure.
how far it goes, but what I need is, you know, and if the city can't do, if we can't put it on city property, then so be it, I don't know. I've
Well,
seen
that's
them on
up to you guys. It's not
city
up to
properties
planning
before,
commission.
so
The
I don't
problem,
know.
I think, was that here is in
The
street,
setback,
street right of way.
line of sight,
The setback.
there was a
Your
line
line
of
of
sight
sight
issue.
issue,
yeah,
Yeah,
setback is behind the sidewalk, I don't think
Yeah.
it's a problem.
yeah.
if it's lighted, that's what we said at the time, just put lights on it or something, or a banner or something that will draw attention.
You won't need any of that, it's an LED sign.
Well, but it's a lighted sign.
It is an LED sign.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yes, you won't need, you won't, if anything.
But what I'm saying, the other one was not lighted at all.
Oh, yeah, this one,
They've got that one.
That's pretty good size for.
So,
that one is
I
not
will-
proper, that one's a 10 by 6.
I'll,
so what we're do- what we're
elaborate a
doing is
bit.
12 by
I
6.
I reached out to the postmaster, and my concern was, I wanted to do our due diligence to help downtown. And that corner on the side of the post office has struggled to be maintained for quite some time. And so, with Kevin's blessings, I reached out and wanted to see if that was something they'd just let us maintain. Even with the idea that, you know, maybe they just let us have that area and it be considered city and we'll maintain it. I had an additional conversation with the postmaster that's serving us at the moment. He is more of a regional supervisor, so it's kind of the opportunity to get to speak with somebody that's so close to active decisions as opposed to what we normally get to interact with our general postmaster. He said he was gonna speak to his direct supervisor, but he was under the understanding that we couldn't do anything to release the land, but that it was being taken care of in a different manner. And that was kind of exciting news, so I'll share that with you today too. Our post office is on the National Registry. And because it's on the National Registry, he explained that somehow that's tied to the Smithsonian and it's a part of that funding. So it will be receiving a full makeover in the very near future, let's put it that way. And it will not continue to look the way it's looked for quite some time. He was appalled and very surprised that when he arrived, it was in that shape. So it's kind of nice that we had a supervisor type like that to show up and to see that. And it sounds like that is happening in the very near future. So we don't have to offer that anymore. They're actually gonna redo that entire area and it should be wonderful. And if we choose to put like a city park bench there so that people can actually enjoy that nice section, he said that that would be a blessing that they would be okay with. And as we had that conversation, he said that he didn't think that having that city sign, a digital sign on that corner would be a problem at all. That they would host that, as something that they could do towards the community that they would welcome, and he didn't see that that would be too much of a problem. He doesn't have the official blessing of it yet, and he still needed to work on getting that, but he didn't foresee the sign being too much of a problem.
If we do that, that'd be awesome. What I got from him too, there was a possibility. That's what I understood too. But in the time frame that we need it done, he couldn't tell me.
Sure.
So, but if we do that, that will save us about half the cost because it'll only be one-sided. Because we put it at an angle that would hit both
Right.
Second Street and Main. So we could save ourselves a ton of money in cost if that would be proposed or be. So that's gonna change the parameters of it that way. So if we get this grant and we have it set up as the 42,700 for a two-sided sign in front of the library, or even if vice versa, we get it for one-sided sign, except we're gonna be 20,000 short. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not sure, I've got a little bit of time, but not a lot.
Well, even if you get a one-sided sign, you can still face it just directly to the street in front of the library, and it wouldn't be horrible to drive by and see.
It'd be a little, quite a bit harder, I would think.
But it's
So-
set back enough that
Yeah,
you're gonna be able to see it fairly
might be.
decent.
Then
Let me
they
put it
did-
this way, I hope nobody's traveling that fast that they don't have time to read it.
You know they are better, you know better than that.
And maybe it
People
encourages
actually-
them to slow down to
We
read
need
the
to,
sign.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, that might be.
So did the postmaster, so what's the deal here? They have to turn over that little chunk of land to us then, or he can't just?
They
just
just
can't
give us the right of
permission?
way.
I requested to see if that was an option, just because they really struggled with it, and that we agreed to help out with that, but that's not an option.
They may give you a license
Yeah, but they said it was
for a
an
time
option.
or forever,
Right,
but they're not gonna convey them.
Well, I'm not asking you to
So-
give us the land, but that location is where, last time this was brought up was when Connie was mayor, and that's the location that was decided on then.
No, it was at, we were gonna put it on the museum on the corner. Jake and I were gonna put it on the museum on the corner, this one, up high, but I guess,
So can you mark this as a primary alternate?
yes, I don't see that being an issue, but my problem is if we put that as a primary and we get okayed for that, it's only one-sided sign, and then that's gonna leave us about 20,000, but that'll pay for the sign, we're just gonna have to figure out the advertising. I was trying to get the whole thing funded, so we don't have to pay for that monthly fee for a while until we get going, that's what I'm trying to do. So,
You would
Can
prefer
you
it to go out?
yes, well, no, I would prefer that it would be down there, I would prefer that
Can
we
you
get it.
indicate that in the
Can we
application
okay,
though, that it's our first choice with the cheaper there, but if that is not an option, then we would need the full price
Yeah,
at
but
the
it's a
library.
grant, so they're gonna give me
Sure, but I mean,
the
it's,
lesser amount.
it's also worth an ask.
You can ask for the full grant and return some of it too.
Sure, yeah,
That's what I would do.
yeah,
Ask for the total amount, even if
They-
you get the primary, then you can kick money
right,
back.
maybe intend to say that it would be two-sided at the post office, and if we decided that wasn't a good look and it's better to be one-sided and we'd like to return some funds.
So I'll have to have an okay from the post office to get that done,
And I believe he'd be good to
to do that.
do that.
Okay,
I need to see an approval tonight for the go
for
ahead.
secondary.
Well, the go ahead, yeah.
I think this is a great idea, and, but and I think that the post office corner would be the
That's
best
the best spot,
location.
100%.
Well, and it would just, it'd be a nice look for that area.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I just don't want to short us
Sure.
any potential, but,
But if you need approval of a secondary location, then I'm not against in front of the library either.
And what you just said, maybe we just submit it as a two-sided sign and return the funds if we decide to do it one side. That makes sense to me. I was trying to make this stick out. Yeah. I'm good with that. So if we could, this council would approve the library as a second option, then we can run it
I'll
down.
make that motion.
Chris has made a motion, to request that place an LED sign at the library on the east side of Second Street. Electricity would need to be ran to the sign as a secondary location. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Diane. Roll call, please.
Dean?
Yes.
Gaston? Yeah. From?
I gotta abstain.
Oh, Grant?
Do I need to vote since we have two yeses?
They're fine.
Okay, I vote yes anyway, whether you need it or not. 13, discuss, approve, disapprove Jared Allen's estimate for replacing, upgrading lighting at the water treatment plant.
I don't, I've seen these light fixtures, we've installed in other places, they're fantastic. We might need, sunglasses to go in the water plant when it gets done.
Will that help with cleaning the water if they just shock it with the light?
Is this part of the grant?
For some clarification, this would fall under the security grant that we were awarded of $10,000. We do currently have 4 overhead lights in the plant that do not work. We have no emergency lighting. This would also replace all of our emergency lighting located above all of our doors to replace the exit signs with the Mickey Mouse lights, so if the power was to ever go out, those battery packs would come on and you'd still be able to egress the building if you happen to be inside there. And then they're directional, so we might not need to replace all 10 lights. But if we were to approve this, we would have maybe a couple of extra ballasts that could be bought in and placed on the shelf, so if we were to have any issues with, say 2 of them that over the years, we wouldn't have to jump through hoops to replace them. We would already have maybe a couple on the shelf to replace those. Or if the lighting is not good enough, then get those installed and have those running. As well as there was a little bit of additional labor kind of thrown in there to help with any other electrical problems that we are kind of having in the building when we work with Jared, and it's still well under the budget. So I know that we have to pay for it first and we will get reimbursed. Do have until the end of the year to get that done. So those are just some of the pros and cons of the quote that we got when we talked with Jared about our needs.
Is this the extent that you're gonna do?
I'm sorry?
So I know the grant is 10,000.
Yes.
This is coming in at 7310.
Yes.
Do you have usage for the rest of it?
We really couldn't push. I mean, we might be able to, if labor was to go over or anything like that, we definitely have a cushion. I do believe we were also looking into changing out some of the, what are they, they're like the old lights, the upgrade in the office as well, to upgrade those to LED to also decrease power costs.
Where this is tied to a grant and you guys just have labor in general, where that's not gonna, I mean, do you have to clarify that to make sure that it qualifies for what the requirements of the grant are?
That I'm not 100%. I don't. I
Because
know
I
we
can
have
see that
up to
being mixed pretty
$10,000.
fast if you don't provide that clarity. I mean, unless it ties to the others, and if it doesn't make sense that it ties to the others, that can backfire on us. So.
The big problem we had is we didn't even have a quote to talk with Jessica about it, and we wanted to get at least pre-authorization, so then we can start working with Jessica to put that quote together. And if you have a list of questions that you would like clarified, I can absolutely bring
Jessica's
those
the
to
one
her.
that's in charge of the grant.
Jessica Johnson, yes, she's the one who's working with us on the grant with Nebraska Water.
I guess I would ask for clarification on that then, just to make sure that you're providing everything you need to provide, so it's not questioned later. And then I also, wasn't it spoke at one time that this grant could have the capacity to have cameras also?
If we could fit that in,
We can use it for that.
it'd be fantastic to get a couple of cameras on the outside of the building, or to upgrade our security doors, or fix one of the doors that's broken.
Right.
It would be great, but we had a hard enough time getting our hands on this quote, and then looking for other contractors and stuff. We haven't had any time to talk with anyone from a security standpoint of putting in cameras or upgrading security doors or windows or anything like that.
Well, and then too, you know, where you guys had submitted the request for bulk water, that wouldn't be a terrible thing to have the security there triggered by motion, so that way we are all aware that if someone's trying to access that water and you guys aren't there to witness.
We can discuss that now, or we can discuss that during the bulk water, but,
Well, if you want us to approve this as is, then
we
That's
won't,
different.
there won't really be a way for people to get bulk water without the two of us there. The tools won't be available for them
I understand
to
that.
access that water any more than they could.
But that's not what I mean, when the state came in and dinged us on that and took away those rights, that's not what was happening.
Right, and we've changed our procedure.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand that, but that's,
Right.
I have to believe you.
Yes.
You know what I mean, like,
Right.
if you get busy and you walk away and it happens, like, at least with video, we could we have proof that they weren't allowed, you weren't watching, whatnot, to go back on.
Yes.
So my question would be, you had mentioned security cameras, so does all of this need to be included in one approval for grant purposes?
Or is that above and beyond? Is that a secondary approval, or can we?
So far, we haven't had any approval to work with, so as I'm working with Jessica, she's been asking me for quotes on the upgrades that we want to provide, and we wanted to know where we were gonna be at in the first place. So we got this
So you
quote,
just need approved bids to take to her at
and
the
then we
total
want-
amount of 10,000, so we
Right,
could approve
right.
this, and you guys could come back, and for the difference, approve
Then we could
another,
probably,
and then she
yeah,
could take
especially
both
once
of
we
those
talk to
and
her.
consider them for a total amount.
absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So you approve it subject to the,
Sure,
subject to the
Subject.
grant.
to the, yes,
Subject to the grant.
correct.
I make that motion.
Well, I guess I would start out with asking for clarification to Jessica on the 4,000, and that will determine if you have a lot more available to that grant, or if we're just what's left. And then with what's left, I, from my perspective, I think we need to use every
That
penny.
makes sense.
So we need to find something to fill the remaining 2,400, 2,300, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and we'll find something.
Do you wanna
Is that a
table
separate
this till
motion?
next week? I mean, is that time enough for you guys to find clarification on that 4,000?
Oh, we can
Or do you-
definitely find
do you-
out.
or do we wanna
We
approve
may
it now?
not get
Send her
another
an
bid
email
found,
in the
but
morning.
we should find
I
the
mean, 'cause-
clarification.
Or unless we approve it now, and then that way if she's okay with it, it still goes through, and then if she's not, we can come back and reapprove it, I guess.
The other thing we talked with, Jared about was he wanted at least the money up front to buy the parts, and then he would
Sure.
take the
That's not part of the
the
problem.
labor kind of on the backside. So yeah, you just wanna know if we can include the labor in the grant for the installation.
No,
and
I
the
wanna
parts,
know
or
if
you
she
wanna
needs
know
a
if we can-
breakdown of the labor,
Okay,
to say that, cause when you presented this, you said that labor was not just for what was on this page, it was for other items.
well, he said he would be more than willing with that labor to, if we needed to. we
To
can-
do a few more
we
things.
can add more.
Okay.
If we,
But you, to submit to her so she can get this applied, you've
Yes.
gotta be, this has gotta be approved,
Yeah.
right? This
Yes.
part,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we could go above and beyond.
cause if we
afterwards.
send that to her and she has, any issue
No,
with that, then we can absolutely bring
We
that
can
up.
clarify, yeah, and then we can submit another for the
On top.
remainder.
For the
For something
remainder,
Right.
especially if we can get if we can get in contact with another
Sure.
vendor or a contractor that
Sure.
would be willing to do some more work for us.
So I make a motion to approve the bid as written, and then we can readdress what monies there are left to
Absolutely.
possibly use for cameras.
The other thing we might be able to do is we do have the SCADA computer coming, so we might be able to add the SCADA computer as a cybersecurity upgrade and be able to take some of that money off of our automation process that we're in the middle of. I mean, there's ways that we can spend that money, I promise
We'll
you.
definitely get it spent.
I agree, I just don't wanna miss out on
It's just where we
the
would have
money
to do
that's
that,
left, so I want something to be submitted so we use the full
It would be
amount,
super
is my
easy
point.
for me to reach out to Randy and have him give me a quote. for
However,
the-
it can be
the
best used,
additional,
but
yeah.
I want the full amount to be used, I wanna be scraping pennies.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Gaston? Do I have roll call,
Crum?
I already have one of these.
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
Dean?
Abstain.
Do I need Grant? Other?
Sure.
Okay.
So say if you need me to. All right, 14, discuss, approve, disapprove the automatic systems company estimate for getting the aerator at the water treatment plant running.
So the aerator at the water treatment plant does work. It will turn on, but the control board at the top of the hill is where our issue is. Either the logic in it is burnt out, I don't know, the control panel that's inside it won't
Doesn't
turn the aerators on. And
Doesn't aerate
it's
anymore?
not, yeah. So the aerator pumps the water up, and it's supposed to be these two big fans that pulls in more air and helps any
It's supposed to take any arsenic possibly in the water out. Radon in the water out.
So this is
and
not a
probably
part of
all
the original
No,
setup that they
This is
had.
one of those things where
No.
they came in and started looking at things and go, what's working, what's not working, and they were able to say, yes, it's
So it's
supposed
in
to work.
In addition to, and
Yeah.
requested on their behalf.
Correct. In the 7 years I've been here, I've never seen it work. And I assumed that it just wasn't supposed to work, it didn't need to be working, and when they come in and we're able to get it to work, I'm going, oh wow, that can work, it does work, let's fix it.
So
As
this cost is
part
to
of-
fix it or replace it?
Well, it would be, so it's just the logic, it's the automation that's not working. The part works just fine, it's just the logic board inside of the control panel on top of the hill doesn't work. They wanna take this control panel and use it as the primary control panel for the automation in the whole system. And help us get the information that's external to the plant inside the plant. We have to physically walk outside the plant and do rounds to get the information that we need for our paperwork inside. So what this would do is this would essentially collect that information, send it down to the plant, and display it on our computer for us. So now we would have better idea what's going, as well as it would get the part that does work that just doesn't have the proper control.
So not necessarily
To
for the
work.
automation we need for this, what we're fixing for the state at this time, but
Right.
certainly in addition, highly recommended because of what we need to be
Yes.
reporting. Let me also ask it this way, when the state comes next, would this be part of what we're docked on because it hasn't been working? I mean, is this gonna come up as a?
Right,
fine?
I think if they hadn't, or I think if they would have known that it hasn't been working, I think we would have gotten.
It would have been.
So we
a part- it
weren't
would-
docked last year, and the
We
year
have
before,
never
it was
been
not a
docked
part
on
of
it,
those
surprisingly.
44 flags we got 2 years
Right.
ago?
Yes.
Amazing, okay.
Can
I think it's
ask
something
one?
that's just kind of slipped under the radar for a long time.
Right.
So just devil's advocate a little bit, if you just fixed the
Control.
Control board.
controller
Yeah.
for the aerator
Yes.
versus this other bigger thing, would we be in compliance? If you just fix the controller,
Well,
which has gotta be a lot
this
less
is the-
than 9,000.
best bet to fix the controller, because the controls for it are so obsolete that you can't just fix the controller, you basically have.
Cause he got it started, right?
It
Right.
essentially replaces all of our equipment that's outside.
Yeah.
I understand,
yeah,
but
puts
we
it
hadn't
there.
planned on that, I
Right.
just,
Right.
I'm asking,
Right. No,
can
he was,
we pass everything if we didn't go that full route?
Basically, the full route's the only way to go, because the controls in it are so old and obsolete that you can't just replace the control in there. He's got it.
Phil, this wasn't budgeted, I'm
Right.
guessing, right? This-
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I really, how far can we kick the can down the road? I think this
I'm
needs to be
surprised we
something.
haven't been hit by the state on it before.
So let me ask this, I guess, and it's in that direction. We've submitted what we've needed to submit. We had the engineers come out and visit as far as creating a scheduled plan of what needs to be replaced at what time so that we can formulate a budget so that we're not overwhelmed with all these surprise bills. Have you reached out to them before this? I mean, have you reached out to them about this because this came up and how do we incorporate this?
But we definitely can.
We haven't been hit yet, wait till we have been hit and we'll address it. I think this needs to be budgeted in next year's budget in September. Honest to goodness truth, if we can wait that long.
I understand what you're saying, but I will never agree to let's take a hit if we can take a hit, because that sounds terrible, and this is our city's water. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in right now, is because for too long, nobody was dealing with anything, and now we've been in emergency mode for 3 years now, where we've all had to be on our back heels, scrambling to figure out how we're covering everything, because it's been emergency after
This is
emergency.
10
So for one, I'm not too thrilled from this position that this is how it continues to happen, and that we continue not to reach out to our advisors, our engineers, or anyone who can help us make these decisions. You guys need to do the additional homework so that when you bring it to this table, we're not waiting another week or another 2 weeks for another meeting because we had to take it back to you and ask you to find more information before we could bring it to council so that they can make an educated decision. The people at this table do not have the water license. We pay you very well to have the water license and to be able to make those calls, to present all of that information in a very full manner so that we can make the decisions we need to, because we are the ones liable at this table. That is disappointing. I feel like this is not done in a way that is conducive to having it done within a timely manner. That is disappointing.
I guess my question would be to Terry. We've spent a lot of money on water. And are we gonna, you know, I'm kind of on the same boat with Brian. We've spent the last couple of years dumping money into our water system because it was so out of date and so broke down that we've always just gone ahead and fixed things. But how close are we getting to not being able to make our bond payment?
Right.
I mean, we would have to put some pencil to that. I mean, it'd be RTS funds.
But
which that's where everything's coming
Sure.
out of is RTS funds.
But I'll rebuttal that with, we had a water emergency this last summer that put us in drastic, overdrawn, way beyond our budget, because this is one of the first needs that we are required to provide to this community. We can't let this $10,000 bill be the thing that sends us into another water emergency where we're forced to spend $90,000 that we don't have instead of $10,000 that we don't have. And that's, I guess, my worry and why I feel pissed off. Let me be clear. Because this is getting really old. Really old.
I'm not trying to bring you problem after
No,
problem
and
after
I understand that,
problem.
but
It's
we
just
need to
every
be
time
better
you bring
about,
something up.
this is nothing new. We have been fighting this for 3 straight years. And this is nothing new. We all know what needs to be done, and we've all been proactive and trying to make sure that we're doing it the right way. We're reaching out for help. You have help available, I beg you to use it. And I don't feel like that's an unreasonable ask, especially where we are not operators. And it's very hard to make a decision where we're required to have our names and our livelihood, on the line. We were all at that training at the community building when we were told that if something goes wrong, it's not you guys that are liable. We are fined. And I don't have the knowledge that you have to make the best decision. I have to believe that you're presenting the full case and all of the information so that we can make the best decision. And my apologies, I don't get to make that decision anymore. But I know what it felt like, because it wasn't that long ago that I was sitting at this table as a council person, extremely frustrated because this has been a problem for 3 years. And I don't envy the position you guys are in. I really don't. I'm sure you're just as frustrated as I am at this point too, because It has been one nightmare, an emergency after another, and it's getting old. But we need to be our own advocate in making sure that we find a solution that the city can actually afford.
I agree with April on this, we've got $10,000, this should have been, if it's been known about this for the last 3 years, this should have been submitted.
Well, 7 years.
7 years. You know, this stuff has gotta be brought forward to us, so we can budget or figure out how to make this work. And that is partially on you guys, I agree 100%, but, you know, to do your due diligence, we're only good as much information as we get.
I understand that, and I walked into this with zero knowledge and no pre-training, no pass down, no anything. So everything I've been finding, I've been uncovering. I've been digging through layers and layers and layers of dirt and nonsense and just jumping through every hoop that I possibly can, and I'm working my ass off up there.
Yes.
I'm running around in circles all day.
And we've done our
and
due
I'm still
diligence to make
trying.
sure that we provide you with the engineers and the access to those that have the knowledge to back you up with that you have that as an opportunity to check with, so you can bring us the knowledge that you need to.
Can we
This
get
is
by
one of
with
those
this?
things that, if we can postpone it till at least the next meeting, so that we have, I would rather this be presented with, the engineers are still working on our plan, but they feel this is where it should land, that would feel better. So as much as I don't wanna put it off, at least if it's to the next meeting, it has a little bit more education behind it, where we feel like we can make a good decision, and we're not jumping to, let's figure out how to cover 10,000, but we're also not terrified that we're worried that we're gonna have to figure out how to cover 90.
Yeah, we just, the funds just aren't there, we've gotta figure it out, so you can't just drop it on us and expect this amount. So
And we
if you
should,
guys.
we should have things built into the budget that allows us to move funds around in order to be able to take care of these issues, but yeah, I'm not willing to vote on it until I hear from Terry for sure.
For sure.
That we have the money and that we
We
can
can
still
find
make our
someplace to
bond.
bring it.
Yeah.
We don't have float.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
we can
and
do
that's been the problem for the last 3 years. We have had to hit every reserve, every emergency, every penny we can find in a back corner and ask people for what's in their pockets to cover what we've run into. And I know a lot of that is all pre-existing before you came along. And my apologies if it was not clear when you took the job, but this is where we're at, and we need to work as a team. And I need you desperately, and I'm sure the individuals at the table need you desperately, to when you do present them, please present them in a manner that is kind of just a slam dunk, so that way we can be like, yeah, I have no questions, this is easy to say, as long as we've got the money, yeah, this is along the schedule that we're expecting, this is what we can handle, that would be wonderful. I guess at this time we'll table it, if you guys would take that, no action, if you guys would take that to the engineers and try and get a response back before the next meeting, that would be greatly appreciated. 15, discuss, approve, disapprove proposed rates for bulk water and wastewater.
This all says bulk water.
There's a bulk wastewater one. There you go, that's the wastewater, yeah. We have the wastewater rates, that's something that came up, we had a local business that was sold to another individual. The previous, porta potty business did not dump at our facility. The new porta potty business does not have the previous, however they did it, is not an option. Yes, previous land is an option to dump, and so they would like to dump at our facility. And so I requested Dennis to put together, look at what was done around us, put together something so that we could implement some sort of rates to be able to assist them in conducting their business. We certainly want to support local business, so that is how the bulk water came to be. Any questions on that? Any concerns that you have at all, Dennis, with that?
No, I think we should be able to, have them dump straight into our lift station and be able to run just fine, when we go
It's
to
easily
training.
to access.
Yes, yes,
to
I mean,
whatnot.
when we're there, you know,
Sure,
it's
it would have to be
within the fenced
scheduled.
area, so.
Are you gonna be able to build some sort of strainer so that we don't get pop cans and crap?
I think so, well, and I meant to add to the bottom of that if there is, any undesirables that shouldn't be in there, that they are subject to additional fees. You know,
That's what it says here. It
Oh,
says
maybe it does, I
additional fees.
forgot, and I think that's just something we throwing off the top of our head that, you know, if we find something, we'll say, hey, this is your first strike, it happens again, and right now you're gonna pay a $25 fee or a $50 fee, you know, whatever, and have it step up, and by the third strike, sorry, we're not accepting anything from you anymore.
Would we need to come
So-
up with those
I think we
fees
have to
as
do
a
that,
schedule
yeah.
ahead of time then?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the lift station is fairly expensive to repair.
The pumps in the lift station, yes.
Yeah. So, like, what size particle can those, what's the biggest size particle that those can handle? And I'm guessing nothing like a pop can, it'll just disintegrate the pump, I'm sure.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't know the exact specs on it, but it's, they're
Do you
meant-
guys have a filter at the beginning? I mean, do you have an intake filter?
the filters after those pumps,
It's after the pumps, can you install one before, like a submersible filter that's got holes the size that you can, I mean, is there,
We probably can, it's just not.
just to save stuff from coming
Cause
through
it's,
the pump?
Would it work
the-
to
the-
just apply a metal basket to the top just to catch
Right.
any of that just
And that's
obvious
what
that
we
you
were
can
kind of
just,
thinking ourselves, is
where it's not
some kind of
anything that
screen
affects the
basket,
system
but-
or we don't have to rebuild anything, but
Right.
just something that's easy,
Right, that's what we were.
Something that just cleans,
Yes.
to keep
just
it.
to catch anything
Catch it before
Like I
obvious.
said, when we go to training in Shattern, we were gonna swap by their plant and look how their whole system is and kind of try and adopt from there.
Right.
It's been a while, aren't those, lift pumps like 10 grand a piece or something like that?
I don't recall the exact
That seems to be
price, I wouldn't
common
be
in
surprised by
marine,
that.
that we've talked about that before, and they're pretty pricey pumps, so that's my only concern is, you know, again, something that's 10 grand that we can't afford, but we do need to provide a service too, so, I guess as far as that goes, as long as there's, adequate strainer installed that they can dump through, I'm good with that part.
Would we be okay to pass it as is tonight and come up with a plan for additional charges later? I've had this business calling and they've been sitting with this stuff for a while and they've been very patient and I'm sure that as soon as we can get this passed, they'd really appreciate it. Is that something you'd be comfortable with, Dennis? Is if we could pass this tonight as is
Yeah,
and come up with those undesirable charges later?
right.
And if they had
right.
something, we're just gonna have to forgive it this time, but at least we'd have
Well,
something working where they could
even if
dump
we don't
anyway.
find them, we say, you know, this is your first strike,
Warning
we're gonna
or
keep you, you know, on the list, and if you hit
Okay.
3 strikes, you're out. Okay?
I'm like Councilman Dean though, I think you need to figure some kind of screen before you start letting them dump in it.
Right.
Some kind of screen at least.
We
Just
also
the other
talked to
side.
Wally Julin, and he told us the hose that he's using to suck those porta pots out and everything is not much bigger than 2 to 3 inches.
So it's
they're
just
not
a truck,
really
he's not
getting
dumping potties.
massive amounts. I mean, he's not sucking up boulders or anything to put down into our lift station, and
Well, maybe
Those
that's
brine
something that we
pumps
make
are
clear, is
designed
it's just
to-
the truck and
To
not.
chew up.
to
a
chew
lot
up
of
anything that you can
solids.
flush
Right.
down the toilet.
Right.
Okay.
And it comes in through the screen room, so I
I just
mean,
agree with Councilman Dean, we cannot afford to replace a pump, Joe, we're
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
So let's be proactive
Right.
and figure this out. So-
Well, I've seen them
If
suck
that's
up
okay.
golf balls and stuff like that, so
Okay.
it's,
Okay,
they're real made to take a little bit of a.
so we need to make a resolution
Well,
with this, or
Just approve the fees.
just approve the fees as is?
Yeah, just, we can go through and do the wastewater rates at this time,
So I'll make a motion to approve the fees for both water and wastewater.
just the wastewater, we haven't
Oh,
discussed
we haven't-
water
oh,
yet.
yeah, for wastewater, sorry.
Okay, so I have a motion for the wastewater from Franz, do I have a second? Second from Dean,
From,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Gaston,
thank you, discussion on the bulk water.
So do we have a backflow preventer?
Yes, so the state defines a backflow preventer as a means of necessity or means that prohibits the backflow of water into the potable water supply. So our current backflow preventer is him and I. We are
So
the
the
licensed operators to be there to monitor anyone that's using the bulk water at any time.
we would be providing the fill service. So we would have to be there, we would open both valves, we would connect the hose, we would fill the container, we would then roll up our hose, close down all valves, put everything back inside under lock and key. And that would be the only way you would be able to get water, which is why we have a comprehensive rate per time of day for those who need water in the area. We made $3,000 in a quarter last year, and it's just, I mean, I'm bringing you guys a lot of things that need to be fixed, and I'm trying to find other ways to get money coming in. I don't enjoy bringing you guys huge bills, and I don't like being yelled at, so I'm trying to do everything I can within the rules. This comes right out of the 179. This is the guidelines that we have to follow to run your plant. And when we have talked with Bill, this is what he references to us all the time as well. If you would like a written on letterhead letter, that is more than fine.
That's not necessary, but part of the reason why it's being questioned is part of the reason why we were shut down for bulk water is one of the hoses was left and it was caught, and it was one of those things that was recorded.
Yes.
So we have reason to question that.
Yes.
I mean, that's something that, again, we can't be any part of it, but we catch the flack.
Yes.
It wasn't
So-
a one-time incident, it was multiple incidents of.
We have to be
hose
mindful
being
of that.
left out.
It was multiple incidents in various parts of the city, and all of these have been addressed, and
And that's
to the
encouraging
best
to
of
hear, but
our
I think
ability.
we would be remiss if we didn't question it
Yes.
at this time, for exactly that reason.
How are we gonna get payment? Because most of the people that are getting bulk water don't have a city water bill.
Right.
Yeah, how are
We were gonna have a form that basically fill out their name, company name, billing address or billing information that Joey's gonna need.
We also take their license plate numbers.
Yeah,
Jody's had pretty good luck reaching out to people and getting them to pay in the past. And we were doing that on a Your Honor system where it was just a sheet in a mailbox that people may or may not fill out with how much water they were using.
I guess
But
the only
if
way
we
that-
have to have witness, I don't want an honor system, let me put it that way.
Well, no, and that's what we're saying is we're alleviating the on your honor and the need to pay.
Sure. that would
Right.
work.
I think I would feel more comfortable with them actually going to City Hall and getting an account.
Right, well, and it's by appointment, so they're either calling City Hall and setting up an appointment, and City Hall's, contacting us saying, hey, they're gonna come out in 10-15 minutes. So we can make them go to City Hall and prepay if that's the route we wanna go.
But now my question is these hours?
Right, and so if they're gonna
Like a
do
lot of-
late nights and weekends, we'll say,
They can't
sorry,
come to
you're
City
not
Well,
getting it,
that's-
then you're
that's
gonna come do
The
it.
prices for the water are supposed
Right, but they
to,
can't come to City Hall, we're not there at.
Right, and so if taking their information isn't good enough, we'll say, sorry, you're gonna have to make an appointment next week when City Hall is open.
You guys have those forms already, it has everything that they need. so
We-
that
we-
they can
we're
take advantage
we're
of it.
developing them and
And
Develop
she's
the
comfortable-
form and
she's
send it
comfortable with
to
what she's
Jody,
done
and
before.
she's like, yes, this is perfect, you're good to go. I thought it was attached in the packet, but maybe it's not, but that's fine.
Well, like the next time a highway crew comes, I mean, they can set up an appointment, or they can set up an account with City Hall.
they do usually set up an account. The contractors that come through are really good about setting up their accounts with Jody. And they're actually part of the reason they were giving us a little bit of flack on how cheap our water is, and that we could charge 2 to 3 times as much and they'd still
And
wouldn't
you've
blink an eye
adjusted
at
that
it.
for what you presented
And
tonight.
we have
Correct.
adjusted
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
significantly. It's also the during the hour rates are very comparable to Hot Springs, Shadron, and Hemingford as well. They're almost exactly the same.
Good enough, Billy? Any other questions?
Yeah, I've got more. So, to the attorney, what about liability for our employees climbing up on a truck, holding a fire hose to fill a tank?
Put down their job. Aren't they?
Also, a lot of those trucks actually have a hose, like they have a pipe that goes up and it's got an air gap in the top. We would actually be plugging in normally on the ground because the truck drivers also have the same liability that you just spoke of. They don't really want anybody climbing on top of the truck.
They'd be acting under the cover of their employment.
So,
If they're required to be the ones doing it. check with Jake, but I'm sure you're covered for anything, like any other thing they do in the job.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
Well, I'll say that, I'll make a motion that one citation and this is done, we're not coming back to it. So, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve the bulk water rates. Do I have a second?
Well, second.
Okay, Dean and Ron, roll call please.
Yes.
Ron?
Yeah.
Gaston?
Abstain.
Grant? I don't know if I need you.
Do I need to?
I don't
No,
know.
it's a both 3 votes, you're good.
Oh, there's two.
But
You
she,
abstain.
oh, she abstained. Well, that's still
Still
three
have
though.
majority.
We should see.
Okay,
I think I only have two if it's a tiebreaker.
Gotcha.
I see.
16, thank you. 16, discuss the current access arrangements for the property leased to Crawford Livestock Market, specifically regarding entry and use by employees and volunteers.
Call the lessee.
So for all intents and purposes, it's their land.
They're lessees. If you're leasing a piece of ground, somebody needs to be on it, they probably should call you.
This is on me. I went ahead and approved, I thought we had this taken care of. I'd gotten my hand slapped. I approved for Roy to haul a piece of concrete over into the concrete pile that the city has over there. Didn't think it'd be a big issue. I did not call anybody. I just said, just take it over there and get it dumped. So I guess it got to be a big issue, and I got a call. I thought this was good, and then now we got to take it out in front of public.
Well,
I'm
no, the
not
point is
sure.
to just make sure that everybody understands this, so that that
Everybody
way,
did understand it. It was me, and you and I had that discussion. So you guys are the ones that set up this lease. I haven't seen it.
No, actually,
This is-
this was the previous council that approved
I'll
this
give you a
lease.
copy of it.
Okay,
Let's,
I would
let's
like
be
to
done
see
with it.
But
If you
it's
got,
just-
if you
That's
got,
where I'm
if you
at.
gotta get on that property, give the lessee a call. Pretty
It's
easy.
not that hard to do.
So what about the employees going over there? Because we do.
Give
have
the
equipment
lessee
over
a
there.
call.
Just call
We've seen you
Just-
stop by
just call,
sale barn there?
Just
Yep.
call them, yep,
Okay,
Yep.
or stop in,
okay.
because
Rich.
So, yeah, I mean,
when they're the leasing, then it's their land until that lease is done, so.
okay.
But
This
he,
is
but
just
he
not-
said, when I spoke to him, he goes, I don't have any problem if anybody needs anything, but we just appreciate knowing, and they've got their own liability to watch out for too, they don't need random people doing what they have on their stuff,
He was
so.
on his way over.
As long as
I
we
just
call
went
and,
ahead
and
checked the
make that
usage.
connection,
Okay.
they'll
Well, they
indicate
did
what
lock
they're
it one
comfortable with.
way, and Tim said you guys can't lock that, essentially. So, I don't know if there's a little.
Why do we need access to that?
Eventually.
I
that
have
bottom-
materials up there, and when we had a former street super, that's where we're dumping our dump truck with the street debris was back there too.
And we've got that
Okay.
big pile that we're gonna grind eventually, so we're gonna need access to that, so I didn't think it was a big deal.
So I don't have a problem going and asking permission.
We'll just work it out with them.
Yeah.
Just make sure we
that's
speak to
fine.
them.
Non-issue.
Number 17, discuss approve, disapprove authorization of an appraisal. Have you guys had a chance to look at what was presented?
Oh, yes, we did.
For the appraisal.
Yes, yes,
Do you have questions?
no.
Diane, do you have questions about the appraisal?
Yes, he's gonna show me.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second.
Sure.
You could go ahead and approve bills and claims.
Sure, we can do that. We can jump to 18, approve bills, claims, requisition orders, and transfers. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Fran. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call.
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
So did you talk to Jason with first, because that's through security first, and they cannot do a commercial loan,
Here.
or,
That's what runs through their business.
right.
He gave a recommendation of a name, that individual
That's what I
also
was
could not do
wondering.
it, and so I went to their recommendation. And this is one of the only individuals in the region.
Okay.
So that's how I came to that name.
I
Sure.
think it's plenty high, but
For a business, it's fairly a common rate, but it's gonna be, yeah.
I think I should become a appraisal expert.
I had
Did it
somebody
affect
else say
that
that
money?
exact
It
statement.
was.
Occasionally
it
very
happens.
rare.
Just, for public needs to know. It's an appraisal of the nursing.
Where are we drawing these from, April? I mean, are these coming out of?
My understanding would be the payment for this specific appraisal would be covered by the city. Cause it would be
Can
a
it be-
part of the overall transaction,
That's
it would
what I'm
be a
wondering.
transaction of the
Can
city.
it be in the transaction? Can we make it part of the transaction?
Don't know.
I mean, if you wanna
Not
think
that
of it
far
this
yet.
way, we would be reimbursed later,
Yeah.
hopefully.
But we gotta come up with, to pay them now, so.
It's
Right.
front money that we would hopefully, if things proceed.
So do we take it out of Keno funds then? Where is it coming from? It's 7 to 8
That
thousand.
might be the
It
only
has to be from
thing.
Keno funds.
But this is from
It needs to be
Adam's
done.
recommendation that it needs to be
Yeah.
included to make sure that we're doing our due diligence in the process.
There are no questions, I move. Are there any questions?
Plus,
It's
I
an
mean-
appraisal of the.
No, no.
yeah, I just think, like I told the mayor earlier today about it, I just think it gives us a better idea.
More
of-
leverage.
Yeah,
I agree, 100%.
Well, and in the email that was shared too, there was a long list of what they request of us and what they consider, and that was extensive and much appreciated, and I think that will be valuable in the long run.
So I make the motion that we approve the appraisal from whatever company that was. To go ahead and do appraisal.
Right, okay. And do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Gaston. Roll call, Ron?
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
Dean?
yes,
Thank you. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
yes, you do.
I'll second it.
Dean,
I'm trying
and
to hurry.
second Ron. Thank you. And thank you all.
Okay.
I know that correctly.
Gambling thing.
It makes sense.
Everybody put like, you know, I don't know, the city must give a certain percent or something, I just don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Just so you know.
Oh,
I was trying to do a favor for everybody.
That's what we're-